Hi everyone, today we are going to be learning how to do propeller design. So we're going to take the standard propeller that comes with the kit and we're going to try and make it better. We're going to do a bunch of tests to figure out what is better and what isn't, and then make some choices and, cool. So first of all, we need to get the starting file for the propeller. So to do that, you're going to go to Google Classroom. You're going to click on Classwork, find the one called Propeller Design inside the ROV project. And you're looking for this ROV Propeller one blade, and you're going to click on it. Google Classroom won't know what to do with this file because it's a Fusion file, so it's going to just be like, hey, do you want to download it? Say, yes, I do. When this pops up, you're going to want to save it to the flash drive on the computer you're on. You'll find that flash drive name over here somewhere on the left-hand side. It should be something like E&R and then the computer number you're at. So like E&R 7B or 5A or 4C, what computer you're sitting at. So click on that thing and then do a new folder and save it as your name. So here, I can't spell my name. Create a folder, open that folder, and then save it in here, and ROV Propeller one blade, and then save first, change the name to something new. You're going to make 3 of these files, so it's going to be good to be able to have 3 of them. So save. Awesome. Now we need to close out of this and open up Fusion 360. Computer's being a little weird right now. And then you're going to go here, File, Open, and you're going to do it open from my computer down here. Over here, you're going to search for the USB drive again. I saved mine on the one called Prusa inside the Josh Haza folder, and I'm just going to double click on that to open it. And then I'm going to do something really weird right away. I know I'm going to need 3 of these, and I want to have a good, clean starting version of them left. So before I start making changes to it, I'm going to come over here and say File. Ooh, I'm not sure. Save. And let's create a new project called PRO Propellers. No, let's call it the ROV in case we make anything else. And ROV Propeller, first propeller, I'm going to save that. So I'm going to actually click Save. That will save the project. And then I can click on the ROV. That changes my location here. And then ROV first propeller and hit Save. Then I'm going to do it again. File, Save As, and it's in the ROV still, and I'm going to do here second propeller. I'm just going to go ahead and make all 3 of my files before I change anything. And then I'm going to do File, Save As, and then I'm going to call this one the third propeller. Okay. Now I've got all my propellers saved. I said ROV propeller, third propeller. Oh well. I've got all of them saved. I'm just going to close out these extra files that are open, and I'm going to open up. I'm going to go to my home. I'm going to find my ROV project, open it up, and then I'm going to start with my first propeller. All right, all of that worked just so we can have 3 files, but there's our 3 different files that we have. I'm going to close out the panel over here, and then let's start seeing what we have. So I'm going to open my bodies folder right away, and I'm going to see that I have 2 pieces, a hub and a blade. So I can hide the hub and see the blade and the hub are 2 different things. And the reason I started you this way is that way you could make copies of the blades and have more or less fewer blades than what you want, or the right number you want. Hopefully you already know from the other activities how many blades you're going to produce for each of your 3 propellers. To increase the number of, I'm getting a little loopy tonight, I apologize. To increase the number of blades, you're going to come here down to Create menu, You're going to come down to pattern and create a circular pattern. The object you're going to pattern are the blades. So I'm going to click on the blade over here. And the axis, I need to click on this blue line in here, but I can't get to it because the hub's in the way. So I'm going to hide the hub real quick. And then I'm going to click on this blue vertical line. And now I can choose the number of blades I want. So I'm going to try a 5-blade design for my first one. And I'm just going to click OK. There's the blades. I'm going to turn the hub back on. And now I need to join all these together. So I'm going to go here to Combine Tool. It's going to ask me for a target body. I'm going to give it the hub. And then it's going to ask me for tool bodies. I'm going to click on all the blades over here. Once they're all blue and selected, I'm going to click OK. And it should merge all those blades and hub into one body. So now it's one piece that can be printed. The only problem is that right now the total width from the total circumference of the propeller is 1 centimeter. It's like this big. So we need to be able to scale this up to something larger. So here's where the scale comes in. We're going to click on the modify screen and we're going to go to scale. We're going to click on the hub as the thing that we're going to scale. And then we're going to come down here to it. Yours probably says uniform. If it does, switch over to non-uniform. And this is where we're going to scale it. So if you want to go for a 3 or a 30 millimeter hub, right now it's 10 millimeters, 1 centimeter. If you want a 30 millimeter one, you're going to need to do the X and the Y as a 3. So that would be 3 times bigger, and I'm going to hit the home button so you can see it. That's 3 times bigger, but only in the X direction. Now we need to stretch it in the Y direction, and these two are going to be the same. So I'm going to go 3 times bigger there. Now it's looking more normal, except it looks a little quashed. And now you can start deciding how much you want to go up here. And if I want to have a stretchy one, I can do a 5. If I want to have a less stretchy one, I can go 3 for that same exact propeller, but just bigger. Or I can go with something a little squashy and go with like a 2. I can also put decimal numbers in here. I could go with 2.5. And you can see I can do something like a 9. And that's going to be really obnoxious looking. Okay, on these dimensions, you should be within, say, a minimum of 3 to a maximum of 9 on any scale. Keep them in that range because 9 centimeters is already like, that's like this big-ish. So this propeller would be this tall if I left it at this dimensions. Right? Feel free to play inside there. Make sure you record what numbers you actually use, especially if they changed. Record them in that Google Docs or that Google Slides document we started working with. All right, so once you get the right one, I'm going to chill this out a little bit. Although I encourage you to try crazy stuff. I'm going to say okay to this. This is my first propeller. And now I've got this propeller that's all stretched out and ready to go. The only problem is that I do not have a hole for the shaft to go into. So I need to create that. I'm going to go grab one real quick so I can measure it. Okay, so I've got my motor. I'm just going to use my calipers real quick. I'm going to measure the shaft, diameter of the shaft. And I'm getting 2.3. I'm going to measure it in several locations because the shaft won't be perfect. I'm getting 2.3 pretty consistently. Now we want this to be really tight. So we want the hole to probably be a little bit less than 2.3, but I'm still going to model it at exactly 2.3, the width of the measured width, because when we 3D print a hole, some of the plastic goes like kind of into the hole a little bit, making it smaller than we thought by a tiny amount. So I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to create my sketch right on the bottom surface of my propeller. And I'm going to create a circle right at the center of the propeller and drag it out and call it 2.3. Well, that seems enormous. I made it 30. Yeah, that's about right, because I made the whole thing 3 times bigger. So this is a small propeller. This is only like probably that big a propeller. So that hole makes sense all of a sudden. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to extrude it. click here, and I want to extrude a distance, not the full distance of the shaft, but you know, maybe most of it. So I'm going to go about like, I'm going to leave about that much overhang left, and that's about 10 millimeters. All right, so I'm going to go here. It's extruding out towards me, so if I want to go the other direction, I'm just going to type negative instead of positive, so negative 10 for me, and that should cut out a nice hole right there. Awesome. So that is, my friends, my first propeller. Next thing I need to do is I need to save this in a way where I can send it to Prusa Slicer to slice this up. So to do that, I'm going to come over here to the hub body here. I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to do Save as Mesh. It's going to pop out my Save as Mesh menu. I want to make sure that the format is 3MF and that the unit type is millimeter. It should be grayed out. If it's not millimeter ever, you need to come over here to your document settings and then click out here and change whatever it is to millimeters. All right. Save as Mesh. We only export in millimeters because Prusa Slicer is going to assume it's in millimeters to start with. So if you have another thing, it's going to come in a wonky size. All right, and we're going to do refinement as high, and then we're going to click OK. It's going to ask us where we're going to save to, and I'm going to navigate back down to this, your E&R 7A or whatever it is folder. Open up your folder inside there. I'm going to call this Propeller 1. 3MF. That'll remind me that it's in the 3MF file format. That's the one I'm going to use for Prusa. So I'm going to click Save, and we just saved it. All right, that's Propeller 1 fully designed and saved for 3MF for Prusa Slicer. So next thing I'm going to do is open up Prusa Slicer, and I'm going to actually show you how to slice it right away, and then we'll come back and build our next one in. So to bring this in, first of all, I'm going to make sure this says 0.2 quality, generic PETG, and original Prusa i3 MK3S. If it doesn't, you're going to click here, do add remove filaments. It's going to bring up this screen or a screen. It's actually, I think, going to start, well, let's cancel that real quick. Actually start with the printer first, add remove printer, and then add remove presets. It'll come up with this screen first. If you have the mini checked, uncheck it, and we're checking this first one here, the i3 MK3S and 3S Plus, and a 0.4 nozzle. Go next. We don't have those printers, click next again. These are other vendors, we don't have those printers. We don't have custom settings, and this is where we get to our filament. Uncheck everything on here except generic PETG, which is right here, and then go ahead and hit finish. When you do that, this will click over to generic PETG. This will be the correct printer, and now you can choose here 0.2 quality. In fact, you know what? Let's do 0.15 quality. No, let's do 0.2 quality. It's totally fine. It's a little faster. It's a little more reliable. All right, now we need to bring our propeller in. So File, Import, Import STL, and we're going to go back down to that Prusa. And I'm going to open up my Josh Haza folder, and I'm looking for the 3MF one, and I'm going to open that one up. It's going to come in just like that. You can see how small this propeller is, this design I have today. So this is ready to slice. I'm not going to slice yet because I want to bring my other two propeller designs in here as well, doing the exact same thing. Once I get all three of them on here, what I'll do is hit Slice Now. It'll slice it up. And I notice if I pull this down, I can look at how well it's going to print. And I can see down, it's going to cause problems. See how I can even see the print bed between it. Like right here, like that's not a good sign. That means that these layers aren't above each other very well. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to come back out, and I need to support this. So let me come here. I'm going to zoom, put the layers back up to the top here. And I'm going to do supports. I'm going to do supports everywhere. So everywhere it needs a support, it's going to put a support. So I'm going to redo the slice to have it redo all the calculations again. And now you can see it's going to build these support pieces all around here to support the blade as it goes around. Okay, and all of these green things will just snap off in the end. It won't be super easy, but it'll be easy to snap them off at the end. And this is about the smallest propeller that we'll make. You'll make the other ones will be, they'll be bigger. All right, so far so good. Now we just need to go back into Fusion 360, open up your second, so save this one, open up your second propeller design, and then do whatever you're doing with number of blades and all the heights and the widths. And from there, then import that one into Prusa, reslice everything, and then do the third one, import into Prusa, and then reslice. Well, you don't have to reslice. Don't slice a second time, or the first time even. Have fun with this project. If you have questions, ask me. I know I'm kind of crazy. It is like 6:15, and I've been at work all day, so I'm getting a little loopy here. Have a good one, and hopefully everything works out.